All right, welcome to another edition of Motivational Sundays with Kevin and friends. This show was originally created from one of more than 300 motivational quotes and counting that I had created for the contents of my books. And with the 40 years plus of studying human behavior, I got together with my friends and I was always curious how one quote landed on one person to another. Were there words that just laid there on a page or were there a conversation to be had? We meet every Sunday at 9 a.m. Hi, my name is Kevin McLemore. I am your show's co-host, and I am joined together with one of the most beautiful couples, Christopher and Gilda James. I'm also flanked by my um, princess over here, or most people call her Queen, coming from Jamaica, Miss Lois Campbell, and the youngest member of our team, co-host, DC Danielle Campbell Chambers. And then my wisdom, my protector, when we go out into the world, I will tell you, most people have a bodyguard that's about 6'8", 320 pounds, and all jacked up. I got the silent assassin, the queen of wisdom, and she is also the queen of hearts, Miss Larnez Kinsey. Now, I will tell you this. All right. You may think that you're seeing double. And I've said this before. If we did a show called 23 and Me, I can almost guarantee you that one of us on this panel is related. Bet you can't figure out who it may be. But without saying, Curtis Battles, he is an entrepreneur over there on the East Coast, putting things together and bringing our community together, one person at a time. Thank you, my king, for doing the things you do. And with this show, it would not be the show that we have today if it wasn't for actor, entrepreneur, father, humanitarian activist, and one of my good friends, the voice of our show, Mr. Otis Spencer. Hey, I'm on a tirade today. This space was not designed to make you comfortable, but we want to encourage you, inspire you, educate you, create a framework just to make you think. So, without saying any more, because I can get diarrhea at the mouth, let's go ahead and ask Otis Spencer to deliver the quote. And it was brought to you by today, Mr. Curtis Battles. Otis, what's the quote for the day?
Grand Rising, everyone. Life is like pieces to a jigsaw puzzle. No matter how many pieces are in your box, once you think you're finished, there is always that missing piece.
All right, all right, all right. Hey, I love doing jigsaw puzzles, and this is so true. Curtis, how does this quote land on you? And thank you for bringing it this morning.
Grand Rising to everybody. I'm so pleased to be joining you on this lovely Sunday in the fall. So I'm going to step back and give you some context. So I, growing up, always loved doing jigsaw puzzles, whether they were around, whether they had animals, whether they were beach scenes, the fall, the places far away that I've never been to. It gave me a window into the world. And so I have continued that into my adult life. So everybody knows this and they send me things. I have gotten them from one of all different shapes of cats that came from London. I've gotten one that is from African American artists. So the piece of it that I find always so engaging is you can start by building the outside, you can start by building the inside, you can pick a certain color. It doesn't matter how you go about it. It is always a unique experience, and you can do the same puzzle again. But the challenge is always you got all the pieces on the table next to what you're building, and you're getting down to the end and you're saying, boy, there's a spot that's still open, and I can't figure out where that little piece might be. And so this lands on me in that it feels like a great metaphor for life. You're always searching for what is that next piece that you want to put into your puzzle. You don't want it to be finite. You don't want it to be just constrained by the edges, but you want to be able to say, when I meet that next person, whether it's here with Kevin on Sunday mornings, whether I'm just going down the street, whether I'm interacting with somebody on the phone who's a customer service agent, how can I make their day better? how can I make them feel like they're the most special person in the world? And so I'm always figuring out how to strive for the next thing. Where can I connect? Where can I be of service to folks who are in our community and other communities by being that open, warm, glowing person that is looking for ways to connect? And so, what happens is pieces drop into your life. I will share this with the crew here. I've just uh, taken on a new opportunity. I'm working with the University of Connecticut as a minority business advisor growth program facilitator. And so I will be working with smaller businesses that are looking to get to the next level and trying to figure out where they go. I had no idea this was a piece that was supposed to be part of my life, say a month ago. And so it's, can you embrace that thing that drops into your lap? Or should are you going to be hesitant? Because the universe is telling you something. You have another mission to do, you have another place to go. And that is how this quote has fallen on me.
And I am so glad that someone discovered the next piece to your story. And you exemplify everything this show is all about. Reach one, teach one, go do your thing, Mr. CB. Go do your thing. So with that said, I'm a Southern boy. Normally we always open up with one of the young ladies over here. But I love the way, no matter how the quote and how we interpret it, when you hear this person speak with her Jamaican accent, I will tell you, all right, talking about taking out the trash even sounds romantic when she says it with a little Jamaican accent. Go ahead, Miss Lois Campbell. Tell us how this quote landed on you.
Grand Rising, Grand Rising. It's always a pleasure to be with you guys. So, like Curtis says, jigsaw puzzle has been a part of my life since I've been a kid, and I've loved it. Uh, as a child, though, my issue was my sisters, my brothers coming over to take up one piece of my puzzle, put this one here, give their suggestions, or just think it's a joke to just mess my whole puzzle up. So it's always a challenge for me. It has always been a challenge for me to rearrange my puzzle. So it's like it's ongoing. And in life, I could see that too, because if you let others play with your puzzle or if you loan out your puzzle, more than likely a piece is going to come back missing. A part is going to come back missing. And it's always a puzzle in your head how to get my piece of my puzzle back. So in life, like Curtis says, there's always an opportunity waiting for you. There's always another piece of your puzzle waiting to be filled. Somebody's always waiting to get into that zone, and more than likely in a positive way, hopefully in a positive way. And when it's completed, when that puzzle is completed, you feel so accomplished. You feel like, yes, I've done it. Then something else comes up again. So you either start a new puzzle or you rearrange your puzzle to fit into to get that piece to fit in. But it's an interesting code. Thank you.
Thank you. And excuse me to our listeners, we had a little bit of an audio problem there. Thank God that the internet blessed us to be able to hear her closing remarks. And you're exactly right. You may not always be able to control every event or every aspect, especially the way when you invite other people into your life, they have a tendency to want to go ahead and play havoc sometimes by taking pieces of your puzzle. You may not always be able to control it, but you can control not being seduced by life situations or life itself. So thank you, Lois, for that share. And to your family members, all right. When you get to the last piece and you look for the last piece, and if you worked on that 1,000 pieces of the puzzle, it's not funny when you have to find that one piece. Let her go ahead and put that piece together because there's always one coming up next. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and turn over. When they say the love boat, I'm going to tell you this is a streamlined liner, big luxury ship that both Curtis, Christopher, and Gilda are riding on. They are shared captains of the Love Boat. He's also, hats off to you, my military friend, and thank you for your service. And for everyone else, I give kudos to you that have sacrificed for a company that sometimes didn't make sacrifices for you, but you put what was in your heart first. And thank you for your service, Mr. Christopher James. All right. How does this quote land on you?
Grand Rising, and thank you again, Kevin. I always appreciate that. Uh, hey, Naheem, great to show, man. Hey, but that quote, let me first say that a lot of what Curtis said is true, where you have that anticipation of that next piece, not so much that you'd plan, but somewhere out there, there is that other piece of the puzzle that you don't even know about yet. I've gotten into a ritual. Gilda can tell you about it when she comments whenever she sees me do it, where as I leave the house, I'm at the door and I slap every part of my body, check and make sure what am I forgetting? What don't I have? And I blame cargo pants for that. Too many pockets, and you sitting there slapping your butt like you're on fire. But part of that ritual is the belief that when that time comes, when that opportunity arises, you tend to run into it because you don't know it's there. And people always say, well, heroes are the guys that run into the fire. Well, the truth to that fact is heroes don't know there's a fire out there, and they're just running, and they just happen to run into the fire. Heroes are more made by opportunity than by decision. So anyway, I leave the house, or I go up in any adventure, check and make sure what did I forget, and as true to life as life can be, whatever I'm missing shows up in that particular journey as something, as Curtis described, that you now have in your life to do, that you had no idea of when you woke up that morning, but now in your life, there's a new puzzle piece that needs to be affixed to your picture. So that's what I thought of when I saw that quote. There is that unknown piece. You may have worked on that puzzle, for days, and you're right. There's always going to be that piece missing, but that piece is out there somewhere, and you won't run into it. It's going to run into you, and through that picture, through that act, you'll complete your picture. But yeah, you're right, Curtis. It's a piece that's out there waiting for you to complete, and through your life's journey, you're going to run into it. Oh, I'm sorry, it's going to run into you.
Thank you for that. I mean, life is all about circumstances. It's ongoing. No matter how well you may want to plan it, everything is subject to change and is ongoing. And being able to adjust and be able to pat all 27 pockets on cargo pants. I kind of miss cargo pants because you can actually move out of your house and no one knows. So with that said, we're going to see how our young one feels about that. But before I turn it over to Danielle, for our listeners, I'm going to ask you to sit back and listen to the voice of our show and ask him to repeat the quote again. But Danielle gets ready to sit back and think about how this quote lands on the youngest member of our panel. Curtis, if you may.
You want Curtis to do it, or do you want me to do it?
Oh, you know something? I'm looking at Curtis. I'm looking at you, but I'm looking at Curtis's name. I'm looking at Otis, you're the damn voice of the show. Just speak up.
Well, we're brothers, so we look alike. You got confused.
Well, I'm going to tell you, if you look at my family, every last one of you, we always know a McLemore by his nose. There's not one of you that does not have a McLemore nose. That's why I said one of you guys are related to me. I don't know which one, but one of you. And the only reason I'm not doing 23andMe is because they put you in an international bank, and I don't want to be falsely accused of anything that's happening in Washington when I'm living in Pennsylvania. All right. I'm not sharing my DNA with anyone that's not smiling back at me. Well, I shouldn't have said that on Sunday, should I? All right.
All righty.
Enough. We just got canceled. So let's go ahead and see what DC's got to say.
All right. The quote: life is like pieces to a jigsaw puzzle. No matter how many pieces are in your box, once you think you are finished, there is always that missing piece.
Oh, well, the first place I went is the literal, okay, jigsaw puzzle. And I'm a type of person that starts with the border. That's how I approach every jigsaw puzzle. I've never approached it differently, except before I learned how to approach it that way. So with that said, I just always used to remember when we're putting together how like intense my family would get about it. And it's like it would just be in the center table and like we'll pass around it and someone will add something here and there. So it's like it was like really fun for me. So when I thought about this, instead of thinking on the side of like it's missing, I thought about the picture that is created as you're building it. And I think like that's still beautiful. And I think a lot of times we're always looking for like the missing pieces when it's like, what about the journey? What about the fun of like actually doing that and the picture that you're seeing as you're doing it. And sometimes you see something that's not on the box. And so that's the part that I really love about making the jigsaw puzzle is like the potential there. So with that said, like pretty much as everyone has connected this back to life, that's how I also saw it, where it's like sometimes we're on our journey building our lives up and we're trying to make it perfect and into a picturesque situation, but it's not always going to be like that. And even if it is, let's say like you are at the point where it's like only one thing is missing, it's still like room for improvement. And I think in this world, like, and not just, I guess, in this world, but also within my perspective of everything, I've been trying to get over that perfectionism because the end of the day, you can make the nice picture on the jigsaw puzzle and then the whole table is just smashed. And then what are you gonna do? You're gonna start over, right? So it's like as long as we're alive, as long as we're breathing, there's always that like room for everything to grow, to change, to even start over the jigsaw puzzle if you really wanted to. So I think it's really about finding the beauty in what you have and embracing that like journey, as I was saying. Thank you.
Oh my
Give me that.
gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm just going to clap a little bit for you, sweetheart, because I'm going to tell you when they say that life is lost on our youth, we just found out where the fountain of youth is. You are so, where did you come from? Gone,
Like
girl. You
like
know, so
literally.
I I'm going to tell you, anyone listening to this, if this is your daughter, you should be proud. All right. I am so proud that you're a part of this show. All right. I am so proud. You just brought us up two more levels. All right. And I'm reaching high too. You just took it to a whole nother level. Thank you, DC. Thank you. And I'm sure glad. I always get nervous about following Larnez, but I'm going to tell you, the other person I'm nervous about following is the next guest up, Mr. Naheem Garcia, on how he's going to deliver it. And matter of fact, everyone on this show is so powerful. I don't want to devalue anyone's comments, but the reason why you're on this show is because every last one of you, when it comes to your attachment to the world and what you give in there, you're the next level. So, Naheem Garcia, how does this quote land on you?
Peace, everybody. It landed on me kind of sleepy, but we'll work on it. We'll work on it. Otis, if you may, please.
Certainly. Life is like pieces to a jigsaw puzzle. No matter how many pieces are in your box, once you think you are finished, there is always that one missing piece.
Sometimes the work is never finished. No matter how much you prepare, there's always something needed. There's always another step needed. There's always something that's extra needed. Even if you think you completed, there's still something that's always needed. It also leaves space to remind you that there's always room to grow, that the job's never done, that you have to keep striving for what's next and what's more. And no matter how much you prepare yourself, there's always another level because you have to learn to adjust. Just like in acting, there's improv. You're on the stage, all of a sudden somebody says something different. You got to adjust and you got to maneuver with it. And that's just the reality of life. It isn't always easy to prepare. Preparation's everything, and we spend our lives preparing for the big show. And when you get to the big show, there's always something missing, but that's also the excitement. That's the excitement of saying, wow, what's not there and how do I fill that up? How do I fill this up? How do I set it up? And that's the journey that DC was talking about. That journey, just the excitement of going through it and seeing what happens. Every night we rehearse, we prepare for a show. Then you go out there in that show and you think you got it together, and then something comes up missing and you don't know what to do. You act in the moment and you press forward.
You know, I've always said when you make a mistake in life, the only time you confirm that you make a mistake if you let people know you made a mistake. Otherwise, people are just watching the show. And if you're the center of attention for that moment, put on the best show that you possibly can. And I would tell you,
because
ladies and
because you
gentlemen,
will be because you will be the attention, the center of the attention when you can't pull it off.
Uh, well, I'm going to say, Naheem, I have not only seen you pull it off in TV commercials, I've seen you pull it off on the big screen. And with everyone on this stage, and they can confirm, we've seen you pull it off live for 2 hours. We've seen you pull it off live for 3 hours. And I will tell you, one day I'm going to ask you because I still haven't seen the end of your last play because of Larnez scared the crap out of me. I still want to see the end. That's a damn shame. You go to see a play and you can't see the end because Larnez got so excited when she grabbed me. I thought we were being mugged, and I went into the defend mode. And
Oh,
everyone else is
oh,
enjoying loving
when Mama come out
at the
and
very end. Yeah,
yells my
I missed it.
character's name, but shoots her son in the throat with a
That's what
22.
happened. That's what happened.
Well,
You're the first.
connected. Well, wait a minute. Connect this. Remember when we talking about everybody walking around here with a big 44, put a hole in each side of the cantaloupe, and I tried one of those. It made my back hurt. So I'm going through all that, and then King comes back and said, "It don't matter the size of the gun. Any gun can kill. It don't matter the size of the gun." And then the metaphor later on is when his mother comes out with a 22 Dillinger and she shoots him in his throat and kills him. There's a specific reason why he didn't get shot in his head or in his chest. He got shot in his throat and died. He talked about it didn't matter the size of the gun because everybody got the big gun. I got this, I got that. And that little gun with that little bullet from his mother shot him in the throat and silenced him and killed him. So
And
that's
and that and
August
that
Wilson. Yeah, and I'm not even hitting it the way I think August Wilson meant.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the reason why, when we talk about the power of our words, when you
Mm,
join two words together, they become a story. When you
mm.
join a story together, it becomes an August Wilson play. When you
Yeah,
put
like
one
Son of a
word in front,
Gangster.
yeah, yeah. And when you put one word in front of another and you connect a show and people like this, it becomes a guidebook to create a better life, a better conversation. At the end of the day, when the words all come together by people that mean well, or whatever, words become joy and happiness, and that's what you guys all spread in here. I don't know how I pulled this off before I introduced Gilda with that and whatever. So before I say something stupid, it sounded very poetic. It sounded like I was auditioning for a part in Naheem's next play. Hopefully I nailed it. But with that said, before I get that I didn't get a call back, Gilda, how does this quote land on you?
Grand Rising, everybody. Nice seeing you. Well, let me see. How does this quote land on me? No matter how many puzzle pieces you have, life always seems to be missing one. That's how it landed on me.
And life definitely misses that one. It's always the next one. It's always what if, it's but and, it's as whatever. And where do I go from here? And that's just the story of life. That's just living. And if you smile behind it every time that, one door opens, another door closes, every time you get lost in your own emotions, whatever, and you had a tendency to smile, thank God that God gave you another opportunity to try to get it right. Just get it right. All right. And,
Hey, Kev, hey,
yes,
Kev.
sir.
Gilda is the only person I know that can answer the question with the question and it's still unanswered.
That's her superpower.
That's a
Yeah.
super. And believe it or not, I ain't gonna say no more before I turn it over to Larnez. I'm just gonna let Larnez have her way with this quote. Larnez, how you doing? And Fubu, you are so lucky to have Larnez doing her thing for you. All right. And people that think that Fubu is gone, it is coming back. All right. For us, by us. All right. Go ahead, Larnez.
Well, blissful risings, everyone. I feel this quote because life is really like this. You're out there thinking, I've got it together now. I've handled this. I checked this off. I'm good. And just when you start to breathe easy, bam, there's that one missing piece staring you dead in the face. You feel like you're so close to having it figured out, but something still feels incomplete. But isn't that life? It's not a puzzle you're supposed to finish. The missing pieces aren't signs that are something's wrong or you're lacking. Is actually what keeps you growing. Life isn't about getting to some point where you're done and everything's perfect. It's about the journey, about evolving, about realizing that the puzzle is always changing, and so are you. And honestly, sometimes we get caught up in thinking that when we reach a certain point, whether it's our careers, relationships, or personal growth, then we'll finally be whole. We'll finally be that person we want to be. But life doesn't work like that. The missing piece might not even be something you need to find. It might be something you need to feel and experience. It's about a lesson, the growth, and the discovery along the way. So instead of getting frustrated by what's missing, flip it. Understand that the missing pieces are what's not keeping you comfortable. You're not supposed to be comfortable. It's what's pushing you to ask questions, to keep learning, to keep evolving. Because honestly, if everything was perfect, where's the room for growth? Life's puzzle isn't about completion. It's about progress. You're always learning, always discovering new parts about yourself. So when you feel like there's pieces missing, don't see it as a setback. See it as motivation to keep moving forward, to keep building, to keep evolving. The missing pieces is what's keeping you growing into the best version of you. I say all the time, I don't gather my friends and say, hey, girl, let's go to the movies because I want to see the end. No, I need to see the pieces in between because now when I can look at each piece and peel it back like an onion, I'm able to see why this person is going through this. I'm able to see why negative and positive exchanges and interactions with different individuals are telling you stuff. It's like screaming messages to you. And we're just living in a cycle like, oh, they got an attitude. I don't want to talk to them. Oh, no, I don't like you. When in all actuality, maybe you're dealing with a narcissist because you had a narcissist relationship with your father and you going through some shit. And you need to know, excuse my language, that energy is around you because our ancestors' energies are always around us. And he needs to let you know that he's there. So I'm going to put you in this negative situation so these emotions can be evoked. So therefore, you support it and you can see your light. Because our issue is in order for us to see how we shine, we have to have an act of resilience, unfortunately. And then you have people in your life that say, oh, damn, their light is bright. Let me see if it's real. So I'm going to put you through this test to show me that your light is real, but I already know your light is real. And then you go through it to prove to yourself that your light is real. That's how this hit me. I hope that answered the question.
All right, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, you have bared witness to the first global Black TED Talk. All right. There you go, Linez. There you go. Hey, Otis, how you doing?
Hey,
How you
I'm doing
doing?
great.
All right, we're coming up to wrapping up the show between Otis and myself. You know something? I ain't gonna follow that chick. Okay. Otis, you're my big brother. Go ahead. How's this
All
quote land
righty.
on you? Deliver the quote one more time and give us your interpretation or perspectives on this quote.
Absolutely. Life is like pieces to a jigsaw puzzle. No matter how many pieces are in your box, once you think you're finished, there's always that missing piece. And I look at it in life in general as even as we're growing up and even as we're adults, what is that missing piece? It tends out to be material things. You want that brand new car that you saw on television. You want that brand new iPhone or that new Galaxy phone. There was always something that you're looking for. But sometimes you have to go back and realize that you have to be thankful for the things that you already have. You know, there are things that are out there and think that people, think of the people that are out there that are less fortunate than you. So don't go wanting something more than what you can actually handle.
All right, all right. Boy, all of you guys are hard act to follow. When I first Curtis and I when we first were talking about this quote, I was thinking, I said, I've always wanted to say this in public. Life is like a box of chocolate. This quote is like that box of chocolate. You never know what you're gonna get next. In most people's conversation, we all strive to be the best, looking for perfection, chasing something that someone that doesn't want to be caught. All these many pieces are pieces of our lives to kind of fit together to make us all whole. We all are chasing perfection. Persistence is the key, and you will find it in one place, and not all the pieces will all fit together to become and complete to give you life. But life isn't a finite game. I know you're thinking I'm kind of stuck in this voice. I didn't mean to carry it all the way through, just kind of stuck and can't get it out of it. But when I say it's not like a finite game, where there's going to be a winner and where there's going to be a loser, where there's rules that's fixed and where there's a clean or clear end to the game. Life is infinite. It's a game where the rules are changeable, where the people are interchangeable, where there's no definite point, only trying to get ahead or just being left behind. The question lies in each piece of the puzzle. Now, I'm going to tell you, I wish I can get out of this voice, but I can't get out of character right now. It's like understanding in this game, how do you play it? How do you define success in life? And where does the game actually end? Well, I'm going to tell you what. That's my grandparents used to say, I tell you what, like you knew what they're going to tell you. All right. You are the missing piece to this life that we use as a metaphor called a puzzle. You are. In your life, you either have won or you're losing. And when you lose by you. The end game is not the question. The end game is how you play this game of life. And until you get that extra date on your tombstone, you are that missing piece to that puzzle. All right, if you look behind there, whatever, that little space in there, that puzzle piece you're always trying to find, just keep building your puzzle. That's all I can say. I wish I can get out this voice. But ladies and gentlemen, I am actually stuck in this voice. I was playing.
Too.
I was playing around before. It's just I'm trying to get my voice back. I used to tease my cousins and stuff from talking like this, and now I can't stop.
There's a swing to it. There is a swing. You get into it, and you can't get out of it. I get it.
Yeah, but anyway, I want to thank all of our listeners for sharing this space with us. We meet here every Sunday at 9 a.m. There you go. If you like what you've heard, go to RMK Productions and Network, and you can follow us. And please do like or comment. And like I said, I was only going to do the intro. So if anyone's offended by my attempt at a Southern accent, blame my family. That's how I grew up. It was a lot of fun watching my cousin Willie and everybody else. You know, I love them to death. Dwight, Dwayne, Mac, Daria, Tammy, Yolanda, Tanya. I can name them all. I come from a family of 13, Raymond, Anthony. I can go on and on. And just remember, education wasn't designed to make you comfortable. It was designed to make you think. My grandfather always said, when you get to a point in life that you can help someone else out, he said, it is your duty to do so. He said, reach one, teach one. And with that said, we say what?
Fade to black.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen.